500 of the writer's strike. Nothing matters anymore. Nothing is going on. Nothing will ever matter again. How's it going, Rob?
It's all right.
Hey, everybody in the chat. Since I had them too. But go on. Go on.
17 days till Keaton. Oh, and it's Memorial Day. So.
And it's Memorial Day.
Just want to remind people, American Memorial Day, it's about honoring the soldiers that died in battle. Not the ones that were at January 6th trying to commit insurrection, but they get to run around saying, I served in the military.
And it's different than Veterans Day, which is about the people who take care of our pets.
Yeah.
Our pet doctors.
Shit. I've been taking that day off for 20 years.
No, it's not about you. You guys get this one. No. Only if you don't make it, though.
I didn't die in battle.
That's why you don't get this one. You get this one.
I went to battle. You know what? I know like a lot of dudes out there.
Yeah.
Because it's Memorial Day, we'll start off on this topic.
Yeah, sure.
I know a lot of guys out there like to claim stolen valor. They like to claim all the...
I do like those videos. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they like to claim all the crazy shit they did and wars they fought. I'm proud I never fought in a war in the Army. Yeah. I literally got out right before 9/11. I'm proud I never had to kill or invade an innocent culture. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Like my time was like dealing with Hawk and Mop and Glow to Germans for,
yeah.
The movie Buffalo Soldier with Joaquin Phoenix. That's more my experience,
Yeah, like that's like my take. Like even on weapons and stuff is, do you have to have them? Maybe you do. I don't know. But if you do, you shouldn't be happy that you have to have them. It should be a burden. Like,
correct.
You know what I mean? Not like something to fucking put on your lapel, That's kind of...
Kenobi had a closet full of lightsabers like General Grievous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's ridiculous.
Lightsaber collector rights, It's crazy. But it would be fun to watch all of the people walking around with like no legs and arms and stuff because they were like an enthusiast of lightsabers. That would be kind of funny. Like in the Star Wars universe, there is that person. There should be, anyways, right? Just realistically, like, hey, how'd you get your robot
ideas now? You're getting Taika ideas.
Right?
What are you doing?
Let's do it, Taika. I'm not in the WGIL scab. Let's do it. No. We got a couple of stories. What they didn't want me. Nobody wants me, so I'll scab. No, I won't scab. I wouldn't scab. But Taika, if you want to talk, I got some ideas. We got two like stories from Bespin Bulletin. Bespin started a Patreon. I told them a few times, so don't make me wrong. And I told him a few times that coffee thing, nobody fucking uses that shit. Nobody wants to go and just deal with it. Nobody wants to figure it out and try it for the first time. But people use Patreon. And they're already set up on Patreon. They don't have to, they just have to say support, And so if you want to support Bespin on Patreon, right now he's not offering any content. He's just saying, like, if you read the site and you just want to support the site, like, that's what it's for. The site existing and me continuing to do it is what that does.
He should do a Q&A. He should do a Q&A just for the Patreon.
Because
he does that Bob podcast. But he should do an exclusive Q&A for the Patreon people. I mean, he just answers questions.
Yeah, but see,
dude.
That becomes weird from our position though, because then people are like, "Oh, is Ahsoka gonna have a double lightsaber?" And you're just like, "That'd be a fucking story if we had it." Right, and and then if you say it on there, then people run. Then people run to Reddit, and then they just put it on Reddit, and then
what if it's a Q&A but no Star Wars?
Right, that's fair. Well,
right?
That's why I mean he, like you said, he's not saying that, but I'm gonna try to get him to like do a little bit of a ping pong thing, like I'll watch the Fast and the Furious one, right, and we'll do a podcast on it, and we'll put it on my Patreon.
Summer?
And then I'll watch Corvette Summer. Put it on the Patreon. He's probably never seen that shit. We'll make him watch it. But I mean, so like, there's like things that we can do just to make it like fun, because we hang out anyways. So, I mean, we could make content during some of those times. I mean, we could just record our fucking Fortnite thing every now and then, a little bit of self-censoring, obviously, and then put that up just with the conversation that we had that day. There's all kinds of things, dumb things we can do if he wants to. But right now, that's not what he's promising. He's just promising if you like reading his website like I do, then
Can't you guys just make up stuff? like what if you said, this is my makeup podcast? That sounds weird, but this is my where I make stuff up, but maybe I don't. You got to figure out. You know what I mean? Like, what if you specify it?
Yeah. All right. Well, so like check it out. Next season of Andor, I'm hearing, and season 2, Mon Mothma, it's going to turn out is actually 2 little people, one standing on the other one's shoulders, and the whole thing has been Warwick Davis playing Mon Mothma this whole time, and that's why his performance in Willow was kind of shit, but why Mon Mothma's was so good because he was really able to step out of himself and just like really embrace the character.
Dude, I knew it. I win the bingo on that one. Like,
I know.
had that. Yeah.
But I mean, I told you before. All right, so
and if I don't remember, does it count?
So for bestmanbulletin.com, May 29th, writers revealed for Star Wars Skeleton Crew. That's writers revealed, like it's, oh my god, like what's that spell in Harry Potter? Revelio. I don't know. It seems a little heavy-handed. A little heavy-handed.
But it's shit. I'm a geek stuff. It's like Harry Potter.
I'll do the unforgivable one, bro. But no, it turns out that it's been revealed. It just makes me laugh. Okay, here we go. Hello there. We're currently 6 months away from the release of the Amblin-inspired Star Wars television series Skeleton Crew. Actually, I'm going to pause this really quickly. I'm going to pause the article. I'm sorry. But I'm going to throw this out here, Rob. Do you think these shows are going to end up getting fucking paused, like in terms of release? Like if this writer strike goes for 2 years, they got Marvel shit to cover their asses on Disney Plus for a really long time. But Star Wars doesn't. Marvel has a lot of things that they could do, from what I understand.
Okay.
And but Star Wars has 4 shows. Star Wars could have
Good
4
things.
shows done.
That's the question.
Star Wars, yeah. But Star Wars can have 4 shows done, okay?
Okay.
But if the writer's strike goes on for a year, during that year, during like let's say every quarter put out a Star Wars show, then we have nothing. And then we have nothing in production, nothing written, and there's just a desert of Star Wars at that point. There's no movie. The movie's not happening. That I'm going to be honest. That 2025 movie, I don't believe it can happen now, unless this writer's strike ends fucking like in a couple days. You know what I mean? Unless we really get moving on it. I don't think the movie's. I don't think the movie can happen.
By the end of the month. I'd say by the end of the month.
I mean, it's got to
maybe August at the latest. But.
And if those movies do happen, you should probably expect them to not be very good or to be very small scale.
Or
probably
extensive reshoots. Like they'll film all the stunt work that they can.
Well, they won't have. Yeah, I mean, the clock is ticking there on all of this stuff. So what I'm wondering here, I mean, we don't officially have a release date for Ahsoka. Why the fuck don't we? Is it because they might end up putting Ahsoka into winter? And then because if I were them, I would do this. I don't want this to happen. I want all the Star Wars content now today. Daddy, give it to me, Daddy. But I can't fucking see how they can go and then go about the usual schedule, even if everything if all 4 shows are done. I don't see how it makes sense to them to cash the Star Wars check and then just be like, well, there's a Star Wars desert now. There's no Star Wars, but there's a bunch of Marvel, so Disney Plus will continue. Which they could do, but I don't think it makes sense.
But Jason, what they could do, since we know that unscripted content ruled the last time there was a writer's strike, right? They can just do unscripted content at Galaxy's Edge. And then it's like a commercial to go to Disneyland too, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It wouldn't go well. People would be like, "Are you fucking serious? $9 for some fucking green and blue milk?" That's what that'd be like every episode.
And your kids
You
will go,
know?
I miss the green and blue milk.
Yeah, it is
I
pretty
want
good.
to
They are different flavors too. I will get them. You know, it's kind of
mac and cheese.
it's kind of funny on that one though. It's one of those things where the price was so high. If it was a little bit cheaper, they would actually sell more. It would be more of like a routine thing that you do every time you go instead of it costs like $9. So no, not this month. You know what I mean? If you're like a pass holder,
Right.
But you know they don't think like that. All right, so back to the article. I mean, you guys can tell me what you guys think. Pretty soon here, you know, with the drought that we have coming out, I think we'll be able to actually like lay out what a schedule might look like if they do that, and at what point is it realistic that the movies stop, that the movies don't happen that year. Because I mean, I'm very pessimistic about the strike. I think it's going to be a year based off of everything that's happened. We also like the thing I keep seeing that when I'm reading these articles is like the producers, I can't remember what they're called, the Producers Guild, whatever the fuck it's called, the Motion Picture Association. They're not meeting with the writers for like another month to even touch base because they're dealing with the directors. Then what does that mean the next month? It means they won't be meeting with the directors because they're meeting with the writers. And then SAG is voting to also strike as well. So are they only going to be able to touch base every 3 months? At some point, does SAG, the DGA, and the WGA find their commonalities and go in together? Can they do that? Is that legal?
Collectively bargain amongst the unions?
Yeah, can the unions like team up? Because there are certain things that pertain to all of them. AI, I mean, you'll be able to AI extras pretty soon. Think about it. You know what I mean? The SAG, stuff like that, the smaller things too. Not really. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of things that like issues that pertain. So I'm curious if they could do that, if they would, because that's, I mean, otherwise this is going to take fucking forever. And then I started looking into the strike a little bit more, and the woman who is running the producer side of things, the Motion Picture Association side, she used to do their like medical stuff for like the DGA and the WGA. She was like their bargaining person, and a lot of people weren't happy with how that went, and then she became their president. So I think there's some deep-seated animosity towards this person that's going to not make it the smoothest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If you were having negotiations and it was with the president and you like that president, but there's some other shit that's like under the surface here too that I think might complicate things. So anyways, it doesn't look good. I'm super pessimistic. My friends aren't overall. They think I'm way too dark on it. So maybe I am.
Yeah, but
I don't see any angle. I just don't see an angle where we're not to be on this one. I can't see the little pinpoint of light, yet.
You were the only person saying for certain the strike was going to happen months ago. Like,
yeah.
You know?
And I only knew this though because they knew it. Because Disney itself was like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're not going to give you anything. Like that's why I knew. And they tried to do their best, like I said, to like, that's why we got like basically 4 Star Wars shows almost in the can, almost. And it's going to make it I don't know. I don't see how they come out of this like really, really fast. But then again, maybe once Disney starts to see that like the Star Wars movies and the Marvel movies are about to fucking be cut off, maybe that's how
do they force Netflix to cooperate though? Like I don't know how. You know what I mean? Like how do you get Netflix to give up numbers, dude? How do you?
If Netflix can be a holdout and everyone else can move on without Netflix,
it's not collective on their part then.
Right. Yeah, and Netflix would simply have to Netflix would just be like, well, we're not gonna do it, and then they would just be like, well, you're not a part of the. I don't even know if Netflix is actually a part of that Motion Picture Producers Alliance thing. I'm not even sure if they actually are. They probably are, but that's something I never even
but then they
looked at.
lose Knives Out and everything else because you know what I
Yeah,
mean. If the
or
PGA is striking Netflix,
would just shelve it probably. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that they could only be jerks to such an extent where if the rest of the industry agrees, then they just move on without them. But yeah, I think it's more like, it's more like WB and Disney and stuff like that are the ones that are really going to hold up the theatrical releases, because Netflix doesn't really do that many anyways. They don't like, it's not their wheelhouse. So anyways, here we go. bestbinbulletin.com skeleton crew article. So we're 6 months away from the release of the Amblin inspired Star Wars television series Skeleton Crew. The series was created by Spider-Man No Way Home John Watts and Chaos Walk and Christopher Ford, both of which will serve as executive producers on the series alongside the Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau and Ahsoka executive producer Dave Filoni. Not a whole lot is known regarding the upcoming series, but it's now been revealed just who is writing the series and which episodes. And then this is where he does his pitch for Patreon. And if you like the coffee thing, you can still give him a coffee. The writers of the Skeleton Crew series were recently revealed via the Writers Guild of America West official website. The page confirms Watts and Ford as creators of the upcoming series, as well as revealing the duo wrote 6 episodes of the 8-episode season. Watts and Ford on the first 4 episodes of the series, as well as the final 2 episodes, episodes 7 and 8. However, neither Watts or Ford are credited as writers of episodes 5 and 6. Those episodes have been penned by Myung-Jo Wesner. Wesner is likely unknown to the vast majority of my readers. She is to me, but her past credits include a Hulu series by the name of Career Opportunities in Murder and Mayhem, where she wrote the 7th episode of the 10-episode series, and a shark thriller film titled The Devil's Mouth, which was recently being shopped around at Cannes Film Market. And on a side note, I went to like her page and stuff like that. It talks about how she was like this like spelling bee champion as a kid, because she was like the only, I think the angle was she was like the only Asian in her school. So she like felt like she needed to learn English like fucking really, really well. She needed to be like the best at it and she was. And then and it sounds like she's a little bit more academic in terms of her writing and stuff too, maybe. So and she's also like running like workshops and stuff like that. So she's probably she might be somebody either John Watts brought in, or she might be somebody from like from the actual Lucasfilm story group that you don't hear about. She's
a big Warhammer 40K fan, right?
Is she really?
They're playing with Henry Cavill. I don't fucking know, dude.
Oh, okay. I was like, why are you saying this?
Analytical. Because all those, we know what? I want her to call me out on it. That's
okay. Because nerds like Warhammer. That's the thing. I got
Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill.
That's all I know.
All them dudes.
And guys who ride rollerblades still and listen to Nine Inch Nails.
That stuff looks cool until you find out like one of those things is like $50 in 1992 money, not today money. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about it. It was announced at Star Wars Celebration that directors of the John Watts and Christopher Ford created series included Watts himself, as well as the Daniels, Everything Everywhere All at Once, David Lowery. Come on, man. Don't give him Peter Pan and Wendy, you piece of shit. Give him Green Knight on this one. What are you doing, Bespin? Come on, man. It's like when somebody shits their pants, you don't talk about like David Lowery, the guy who once shit his pants in public on a jog. All right.
Hey,
and
Joel Schumacher directed some really good movies, but what do they remember him for?
Yeah. But Joel Schumacher
it ain't
never
Lost
did
Boys. It ain't Flatliners. It ain't San Elmo's Fire.
I remember all of those. Come on. But yeah, we do know him for the Batman thing.
It ain't Phone Booth.
What? I don't remember Phone Booth. don't remember.
It was actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the movies that you listed
could have been a Die Hard movie.
Yeah,
could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, he did lose his fucking mind with those Batman movies, though. All right, and Jake Schreier, Beef. And by the way, Beef is pretty good. I really enjoyed it, actually. It's been like a couple of weeks since I watched it, and looking back on it, I really thought it was good. In addition to the directors being announced at the event, we also got confirmed that the series will star Ravi Cabot Conyers, Kriana Crater, Ryan Kiera Armstrong.
No one knows who these fucking people are, dude. Do we have to read this? Like, I'm sorry.
Robert Timothy Smith.
I hate to be that guy, but we don't live in a world where we recognize most of these actors anymore.
Yeah, but they all have 3 names, and that makes them prestigious actors.
It's ridiculous.
If you have 3 names,
trying to memorize the names of the people who voice the Muppets that aren't Jim Henson and Frey guys. Go.
You will call me Jason William Ward. You will call me Jason. What's your middle name, Rob?
That's the kind of name an actor from Saved by the Bell or Power Rangers has, Jason.
Is your middle name Screech?
No, it's Alan. My initials spell Rad.
Rad. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's why I allowed myself to get adopted. I did the math.
You know what?
It wasn't cool before that.
Yeah. So it has Jude Law, man, and he gives him the Fantastic Beast credit. It's like sometimes people like Bespin Bulletin. They just want to see what. Is there a thing I say Jude Law?
Jude Law. Can Bespin do a Patreon only podcast where he just goes in depth on why he credits actors to shitty movies?
Yeah. How about Patreon content where he just reads IMDb out loud? Like that's all he does. He just goes like Robert Timothy Smith, Mythic Quest, Carrie Condon, The Banshees,
Warriors of Virtue. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And then at the end of every episode, a portly security guard walks in and goes, "You ain't built for this," and turns off the light. That's how you know it's done.
Lawrence Fishburne, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's like, you know, no Matrix, no Boys in the Hood. Pee-wee's Playhouse. But to be fair,
what's love got to do with it?
No, what's love got to do with it? But to be fair, he was really good in Pee-wee's Playhouse, though. He did do a good job.
I love Pee-wee's Playhouse, but you understand what I'm saying here, right? Mm-hmm. Like George Clooney, Facts of Life,
yeah, Facts of Life's George Clooney, according to Bespin Bulletin.
Right.
All right. So Bespin says, I list their film series that I think my readers would have seen. Maybe you should start suggesting that your readers don't look at the lowest common denominator. Start suggesting things that they should see them in, as opposed to the stupid shit that they have seen. Bespin, you need to help your babies grow.
Mark Hamill, Corvette Summer.
Hey, yesterday we were looking at Annie Potts from Corvette Summer. God damn, Annie Potts was hot. Pre-Ghostbusters Corvette Summer. That was a woman, man. I'm not gonna lie. That was like I remember it was weird when I was a kid because I was like, man, she's hot in designing women compared to Ghostbusters, and that's weird. But then when you look at like there, she just decided I'm just too hot. I gotta grow as an actor, and she did.
Well, the one that got me to discover Corvette Summer was Who's Harry Crumb, because she was playing Who's Harry Crumb, and she wears like a lingerie piece for like half the fucking movie.
That's right.
And I was just like, what is this? That's Janine?
Yeah.
What else is this chick been up to?
As a kid, I was really sad that Who's Harry Crumb just didn't work, didn't connect. Like I remember I was like, man, the movie's not doing well. And the other one was about that time was Hot to Trot. Remember Hot to Trot with Bobcat? I was like, why are these movies not working? I want these movies to connect. And they just weren't.
It was right up there with Funny Farm with Chevy Chase.
Mm-hmm.
The one that did connect was Great Outdoors. That's the one that.
Yeah. Great Outdoors was huge.
But Overboard, I guess that connected, but I don't really consider. I don't think people remember Overboard as much anymore.
No. Overboard was like
Big
really
at the
big.
time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it got a remake even. They remade it like a year or two ago.
Okay, let's not. Yeah, it's like saying they remade White Man Can't Jump. Sure, they did.
It's not about that. The thing is they do these remakes based off of the math. They know that based off of like the how much people have seen it and bought the old one, that a percentage of those are guaranteed to see that film. Then they make it knowing that it will for sure bring in, $1 million or something. But they're always shit.
As a business person, Jason, I see what you're saying.
As an artist, it's crap. Yeah,
it's the same category as those like Bambi 2 directed DVD video
right
films.
But it's just like one of those things where you hear that and then people are like, oh, like that wasn't big, or well, actually the industry disagrees, which is why they are doing the remake, because people do watch it on streaming services and stuff. That was my point or whatever.
I always wanted Annie Potts and Joan Cusack to do something together. Thought those two would have been pretty good.
I was thinking Joan Cusack with the neck brace on.
Like if I could recast that movie Feds, right?
Right.
Annie Potts. What?
Yeah. I liked Feds when I was a kid. I watched it a couple of times.
But if I could recast it, I'd get Annie Potts and Joan Cusack.
Bespin says that's my Patreon show. You throw actors at me and I tell you what film of theirs I'd list based off of what I think the Star Wars fans would know.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it's
Santa goes Paper Moon.
Oh no, don't
Every time, dude.
That's like he's like a lawnmower with Paper Moon. You just fucking pull that cord. He's gonna get going on it now. Yeah. All right. So this one I got like a lot of messages on, and like this is something where I just don't know. I don't know anything about it. And it's like, like Boba Fett and Mando 3, people kept saying, I'm not saying this isn't real or anything like that, but people kept saying like, oh, he's in it. And I'm just like, I have no indication that Boba Fett is in Mando 3. And then in my digging on that, I ended up getting that there was work for Boba going down for something else, probably Mando 4, most likely, but maybe something else, but probably Mando 4. And they were building his stuff. They were building his a new armor set and things. But anyways, so this story right here reminds me of that, but I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm just saying like I don't know anything about this. Tamara Morrison reportedly playing Captain Rex in Star Wars Ahsoka. And right here you can see some fan art, if you will.
I got something to say about this when you're done. So.
Okay. The report comes from One Take News, the outlet that previously revealed various directors for the Star Wars series Skeleton Crew, which will release in November or December of this year, I hope. One Take are reporting that Morrison will feature in the Ahsoka series in some capacity, with their belief being that the actor set to play the fan favorite Captain Rex, who's a close ally and friend of Ahsoka Tano. The outlet do not know if Morrison will be playing Rex in flashbacks or if he'll play Rex in the present. I can tell you what I have a take on what that will be, if this is accurate. Personally, I've seen evidence that Morrison might have involvement in the Ahsoka series, but wasn't confident enough in running a story on his return to the Star Wars franchise. But clearly, One Take News are. And then for the record, Bespin told me what that is, and I think he made the right call in not moving forward with that story with that from that evidence. The return of Morrison. So good job holding your horses and doing the right thing, Mr. Bespin. The return of Morrison in live action Star Wars comes after the actor previously revealed that he was hoping to feature in The Mandalorian season 3, but that hope did not become a reality despite unfounded rumors. Morrison made a brief cameo as a down-on-his-luck clone trooper in the successful Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series last year, and Morrison headlined the Mandalorian spinoff, The Book of Boba Fett, in 2021. Morrison and his co-star, Ming-Na Wen, have both been vocal in wanting a second season of Fett, But as of this time, there's been no word on if it's
more fit.
I want more fit. We'll get a second season.
Trying to make fit happen. It ain't gonna happen.
Right. Though it's not confirmed, it's likely Morrison will get to return in the Star Wars universe at some point, with fans speculating that Boba Fett could and likely would feature in the upcoming Dave Filoni directed Star Wars movie. The feature film is set to act as an exciting crossover event of the various series set during the time period of The Mandalorian, which Dave Filoni and The Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau executive produced, which includes the Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka. Ahsoka is set to be released sometime in August exclusively on Disney Plus. Now, I kept getting people going like, he's in the world between worlds, isn't he, Jason? Isn't he? And I'm like, I honestly fucking doubt it. Like, I've always said of what I think I know. What I think I know is the first 4 episodes are Republic based. The second 4 are about going out to get Thrawn and Ezra Bridger, right? So in those first 4, that's where he would probably go, would be on the Republic side. The guy who fought in the Battle of Endor in the canon story is he fought in the Battle of Endor. So does Hera. So most likely he got some sort of recognition for that in the Republic and is something in the Republic that matters, something important. Maybe still a general in their military, something like that. But so when we get to the Republic stuff, that would make sense that he could be one of those characters. But I never had anything of significance with Morrison, so it makes me just arrogantly, admittedly, believe if he's in it, it's not big. It's not too much. Could be wrong. Could be just complete arrogance on my part. And then the other thing is because I didn't know about Zeb. So, and I believe Zeb is in it based off of Mando. So, yeah, what's your take?
My take was it's one of those flashbacks because you told me when I said them clones should reappear back in the Boba Fett series so we can get some fucking make this shit actually mean something. You told me none of that can happen because they all die or some shit like that. So
right.
Which I wouldn't know because I don't watch fucking cartoons. I don't care.
This is if you watch Attack of the Clones, you learn that if the clones accelerate in their age by double. However, no one pays attention to that shit, so they could be as loosey goosey as they want with it.
And that's been my take since day one, that I don't think any of this shit matters until someone creatively wants to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So if Filoni wants to put fucking Rex in there, I don't care what comic book, novel, rule in the West End games, or George Lucas scribbled down on a fucking note somewhere. Mm-hmm. That shit goes out the door. That's my belief, right?
Yeah.
So I think if he appears in regular continuity, post Return of the Jedi continuity, right? That's the one I'm hoping for, because then that will prove my theory right.
Yeah.
But I believe it'll be some minor like flashback cameo where he's just standing there and they say something quirky and then they move on, you know?
Right. Yeah, there was a thing going around at one point. And I honestly don't know if it's true. I know it was entertained by I remember people at Lucasfilm being like, that's an interesting idea. But I don't know if they ever did it. I don't know if it's a true thing or something that they're doing something with. And it's that they were going to have it where the age acceleration like tapers off. Like up front, age acceleration is really, really rapid, and then it has a diminishing return. So by the time that the person is in their 40s or 50s, they're aging practically normally at that point.
Oh, like Batman.
Like Batman.
Right? Batman hits his 30s, it just slows down. He's 30 for 100 years.
Yeah. And like, you know, in terms of the sci-fi kind of like angle on it, I could roll with that if they wanted to. That way they could get the most out of Morrison, you know, like while he's you know, acting and able to do all of these different things. So yeah, I go back and forth on it. Like, you know, I don't believe it's see, this stuff right here though, I feel like it sets up like fan outrage. And the reason being is that, like, to the best of my knowledge, we just end up with Ahsoka, Tano, and Sabine and Ezra Bridger in those like last 4 episodes on their adventure, fighting Thrawn and those stormtroopers and stuff, right? That's my like perspective of those final 4 episodes. And there's no fucking Tamara Morrison with them, and there's also no Zeb. Zeb is CGI, so there's always a chance that that stuff just slipped past me or whatever. But I don't think he's there either. And so, you have people like, well, Luke Skywalker wouldn't do that. He would go on the adventure and help his friends. And then they fucking cry about it, right? Well, is this setting up that eventuality? And because like, why doesn't Captain Rex go? And it's like, because Captain Rex has a fucking job. He's got a fucking wife now and a space mortgage. He can't go off and go find Ezra Bridger just because you fucking want him to, all right? But I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, he's got to be doing something, right? I mean, he's got to get some fucking life going. But I mean, he is like he looks pretty old then. But the other thing that came about this is I don't have the actual tweet, but like One Take News in their article says like, the Ahsoka series is sounding pretty good. It's like the vibe. And that's why they gave Dave Filoni his own movie. Now that has blown up into the Ahsoka series is the best series that's ever fucking happened, and it's so fucking good. It's so fucking entertaining that they're making a movie, And One Take News,
the hyperbolic fan base, just fucking was it a 9-minute standing ovation at the Disney offices for the Ahsoka series?
9.5. It's that much more. No, but One Take News came out and said, whoa, guys, like I'm saying, like, it's like what they were saying is very
Jason, Jason, they stood up for 69 minutes for an ovation, Jason. We just kept going back and forth across the room, know what I'm saying? For 69 minutes.
Just up and down.
That's why I got a movie.
That's why they gave you the movie, Dave.
I'm not even in a union, Jason. Georgie won't let me do it, so I could do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. Go make a movie.
You are married. You are actually in a union.
What?
Yeah. Turns out. Yeah. Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, that's not good. I gotta go think about what I've been up to. I'll be back. Bye.
Am I allowed to write myself out of this one? No, but so what One Take News was like, whoa, like their tweet was like, I'm saying like, if you just need to read between the lines of, if the Ahsoka series was fucking trash, the Dave Filoni film wouldn't be moving forward. That's essentially what they're saying. That's what this means. And the truth is that the ball that got rolling to get Filoni into the position where he would direct a movie at some point, that's been moving forward before the Ahsoka series was even filmed. Now, if the Ahsoka series had been completely mismanaged and a nightmare, would that have likely fallen apart? Probably 100%. So it's just one of those things where you can't attribute, Mandalorian to it and Ahsoka, or just.
But what if they rotate it, Jason? What if they let him have the movie anyway, and then when it fell apart, they hired Gareth Edwards to come on and replace Filoni? They replace rotating director chairs.
We gotta have James. James saw Gareth Edwards in the film, by the way, with Gareth Edwards, and said it was good. He said it was really good. He really enjoyed it. But But anyways, those movies though. Who knows? I don't see how we get into any films going forward in this current climate. It doesn't seem very, very possible. So I'm like, well, are they going to do Ahsoka season 2? And in my opinion, if they want to get movies going and they want that Filoni movie to be the second movie, and they want it to come within a year to 2 years after the next film, I don't know why they would do an Ahsoka season 2 at this point. Unless the concept of that film requires so much like work. But also it being Star Wars, there's a chance they just fucking skip all of that and don't tell how we got there and just put us in the middle of the movie and then make the series that the prequel season after. That could happen too. That's completely like within the realm of possibility.
If they don't have the writers to do a series because of the strike, they don't have the writers to do the movie. I mean, they don't have the movie, they don't have the writer. You see what I mean? Like
and what matters more to Disney? I think a theatrical film matters more than a Disney Plus series at this point because certainly. So that's why I'm also, as this clock counts down, I see the death of the initial season 2 concept for Ahsoka, most likely, but if it is just about the getting a crack team who's going to fight Thrawn in some ways, that second season of Ahsoka may have filled us in more and made us more enthusiastic moving towards it, might have given us some more of the concepts that will be in the film. I don't think that you need it, though. Probably not, based off of the fact that it you just need this thing to come together, unless that team coming together was the purpose of that season, and then the movie, like, they're already the Avengers, so to speak. But clearly we won't be going that way. Robert St. Clair says, just to add to what Jason was saying, they could say they were engineered accelerate to a particular peak age for combat, then accelerated aging tapers off. Kaminoans had those capabilities in theory. Yeah, like in terms of like the sci-fi-ness of it, I think it's completely within the realm of possibility and seems fair. And you also have all kinds of shit going on that they've introduced in terms of the sci-fi with like,
you literally you literally could just be like, I thought they age quickly, and someone go, yeah, I did too. I don't know. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like it happens all the time. I guess not.
Yeah. Or they could also, I mean, there's just ways of writing it out too, that like what the actual inhibitor chip that was put into them, the one that would make them go Order 66 crazy, could have been designed to be an age accelerator. And when they put it, and that's what it does, but there's a little virus, and that was the Order 66, like, kill everybody thing. And when they cut that out and remove it, age acceleration ceases. There's all kinds of angles that they could take to make it work if they just decide to. And to go back to what you were saying, Rob, about Filoni, Filoni wants to do it, it'll happen. And the only thing I could see is if he had this idea and Lucas like hated it. I don't think he would. I think he's close enough to the guy that it would be like, he wouldn't be like, oh, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. Like, I don't think he would do that. But I also think that, like, if he had this idea that was going to significantly grow a thing in Star Wars and was like a big concept, Lucas would probably have done that himself too, and would be like, yeah, do that.
I could see that argument where Lucas gets all mad at him, like like he leaves him a voice message or something, dude, where he's just like, what the hell are you doing? Who do you think you are? What do you think? Now, remember, George? Remember that time Luke and Leia, one brother and sisters anywhere? I just did the same thing with clones, bitch. Oh, and he goes, right? Like it's just like 5 minutes in the phone. Yeah. And then Filoni and Kurtz are best friends now, right? And they just wheel Kurtz out like Weekend at Bernie's, Like,
do you think when you're going to be alienated, they call you a Martian, which is like Marsha, and then he goes Martian, and he's like, no, don't do it to me, George.
Well, we made those jokes when Close Encounters came out, Jason. It didn't go well.
Yeah,
it didn't go well.
It didn't have to, though. Back then it didn't have to. But yeah, I don't know. Like, once again, just to be clear, like, I'm not saying that I think this story is not true or it's not happening. You know what I mean? I'm not. I just I've never seen anything to make me like convinced other than this story. This is the most convincing thing so
You were
far.
wrong about, you weren't wrong, but you said you had no idea about Palpatine being in Kenobi, and we all I think that would have been better if he wasn't,
Yeah.
given how they used him, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It's all
that's
execution.
because he wasn't in Kenobi. And then that
Right.
was added into Kenobi like way later. So by the time Principal had wrapped, that was true. And then that was done like later on in like a reshoot kind of thing. And two of the changes that are the big changes for the back end of Kenobi were adding Palpatine, and the other one was Qui-Gon not being what makes Kenobi remove the rocks from him in the end fight. It was like remembering Luke and Leia and the faith in the future. And originally there was a bit of a pep talk from Qui-Gon. And I never got like a true answer, but my sense is that Liam Neeson's like moments weren't that strong, and they decided to do it in editorial instead. So I don't know that for certain. So I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's my sense. If I had to bet about what ends up being true, it's that Liam Neeson did the Alliance and it just wasn't fucking working,
What if they did? Because it would just be audible. What if they did, but then they just had a Liam Neeson impersonator redo it and tell him it was his voice? You think he'd know? Like, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
got it.
Nah,
It's you.
nah. He wouldn't have any idea at all, any clue.
Right.
But
yeah. They could have done that.
yeah. Let me ask you something I was thinking about the other day. You know how like Indiana Jones, he always gets like his age since they started to make the last movie. That's just been like all people fucking like bitch about. But then and now I'm a little bit more like Ford is old, and in the new movie he plays a really old man, so it makes that one's fine. I think he's playing like the role, he's playing his age, but it's like they don't do that with like Liam Neeson and stuff. Do you think that's
in his 80s?
I know
That's what Liam Neeson isn't doing Taken movies in his 80s, right?
It's not.
No.
Sure.
So
Liam Neeson's 70
times.
years old. He's 70 years old, and it's like
When was the last time you
he's
did a Taken movie? Like 7 years ago?
Dude, I did Taken 8 yesterday. Just so you know, like no, but I mean, right. He's constantly like playing like that kind of, you know what I mean? Like but like I wonder, is it because we knew Ford when he was younger and Ford was always old? Like Ford always looked old. You know what I mean? But I don't know, just like it's like seems
I know at least several actresses, Jason, who want to talk to you about ageism in Hollywood, like in the double standard that may exist.
Well, yeah, it's different. I mean, no, it's different with women, because Hollywood and to some extent the consumer base just see them as basically things to fuck. So they don't.
I got an actress who's a friend, like an actual friend, does a lot of B movie stuff, right? But she's making a living at it. And she's now at the age where they're like, they want to cast her as grandma, but she's still younger than me. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, we still live there. Sucks.
Yeah. The only time I BMA asked, did your source ever give you any info on Ezra? Will it in the series? Will have longer hair, or will he have his buzz cut? So like initially when I saw Ezra and looking at that trailer now, I believe the time I saw Ezra was for that hologram shot that we saw, because his hair was like super short, and the rumor is that he has long hair and facial hair when we get to him in the series. But I would have to I'd have to try to touch base with a source or two to like make sure I'm remembering that correctly, and anything about his costume. Like the last time, I was doing stuff on it, is he was not using a lightsaber as much and doing force karate and stuff. So, but I'll see what I could dig up. See if I have anything in my notes, But and then CCGO3 says, "Hey, can't really hang around, but happy Memorial Day. Thanks for the podcast, guys. Have a good time. Have fun."
I don't know if people should have a happy Memorial Day. It's kind of I've never understood why we're celebrating, Day of Remembrance. It's like celebrating the Holocaust in a way. It's like people died. I don't know. Like, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look back, I mean, I didn't go through that, so I'm just gonna but if I went through it and I had a friend who didn't make it in the war, maybe today you have a happy day remembering what a funny guy that person was or something. I don't know.
I don't think that's how Rambo would do it, Jason.
Oh yeah, Rambo's a fucking maniac.
Yeah, that whole movie's predicated on him going to see the family of his buddy who died. He didn't know died. We wanted to go see his buddy, and then he found out he was dead, and it's all downhill from there.
Fucking Brian Dennehy! God, he's a dick. Hey, I can get something to eat around here. And he's like, "I'll drive you out of town, you piece of shit."
Yeah.
Brian fucking Dennehy. Honestly, though, man, like the first Rambo movie, Brian Dennehy does a lot of the heavy lifting in that movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, 1,000%.
He gets he's way underrated for the initial success. That's why when you get to the other films, the ones after Dennehy, they're just like action based things, but then they just kind of become like a big blur of nothing because there's absolutely no performance for the most part. For the most part. Miss Susie says Liam Neeson gets that check by popping in as with just his voice and Force Ghost if you're lucky. Yeah, and then he also kind of did that interview where he said that he thought they were these Disney Plus shows were devaluing it, and he's a pretty big. He might be above it. He might be able to say as much dumb shit as he wants and still play Qui-Gon Jinn. Not get written off, but every time he does that, I think it becomes a little less likely that we get a Qui-Gon series or something. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to think about it, and I'm like, I believe that the actual core of Obi-Wan Kenobi, without stretching the character out too far and moving him into places he shouldn't be entirely, that last series did most of what you can do with Kenobi. That is the hurdle to continuing on. So that's why if we get a Ewan series, it'll be Ewan part of something else, and Obi-Wan Kenobi helps this other mission or this other thing, whatever it happens to be. But the Qui-Gon, a Qui-Gon series about how Qui-Gon, maybe somebody else playing a younger Qui-Gon with him playing the older Qui-Gon, or and doing a little bit of de-aging and stuff. They could tell about how he goes on his path towards life retention after death. And then Obi-Wan Kenobi could play into that. That's I think that the natural continuation, if they wanted to do it. But the more the more he pisses his pants and then says that they're devaluing his films or whatever he was in, it seems less likely, right? Asitru says, found out why indie tickets aren't on sale yet. Ratings board only just got a copy to watch it. Won't put tickets up till it's rated. Hopefully on sale next week. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm actually here. I'm gonna look right now just to see if it looks how. Okay, let me ask you this, Rob. I'm gonna look at the tickets right now on Indie for my theater, just my sample. It's anecdotal at best, but I'm going to a 3:00 fucking screening, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think a 3:00 screening of a successful film would likely sell out?
No, okay. And I can tell you this because Avatar was open at 3:00. You know what I mean?
What did that look like?
And there was 3 other people in there. Wasn't that heavy? Yeah,
okay.
It wasn't that heavy. The 3:00, especially if it's LA, because people generally don't have time. I'm in a much smaller population area,
Right.
So I would say your version of our 3 people might be 16 people, maybe 12 people.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that has anything to do with it. The real thing is 7:00 on on a Friday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
7 o'clock or 9 o'clock on a Fridays. I mean that Fridays don't get enough credit for the. I mean Saturday's a big day, but that Friday, that's the one where everyone tells everybody. Maybe Thursday night, right, these days, but sometimes usually that Friday is where everyone goes, "Oh shit, you gotta go see it," and then you get that big bump on Saturday.
Right. So
Yeah.
right now at my 3 o'clock screening, I'm gonna go like 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 32, 40. There's about 40, somewhere between 40 to 50 seats taken.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually.
For a 3 o'clock, I think that's not bad, you know?
No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit surprised because it was looking a lot worse, you know? And I kind of think that at the same time too, like it will probably, you know, the people will probably show up on that day too, you know.
Look, I'm not here to defend a movie I haven't seen. What I
Yeah,
would
yeah. No, me
say,
either.
and I
I'm
you know how
just
I feel.
I just want to know how it's gonna do, you know.
Yeah, and I told you I was hoping nobody would be in the theater with that. I wanted the theater to myself,
Yeah.
right? So like I was mad when there were people in that fucking theater. So, but with Indiana Jones, I think the one thing it has going for it, whether you could say, "Oh, it's not relevant; it's for old people, no young people." First off, I got two things on that. One, it's been my observance of the younger generations that they go and see whatever the hell anyone else is seeing. If they
Yeah.
hear people going to go do something, they go. Even if they fucking hate it, they'll go do it because everyone else. That's the only way you explain Fire Festival too. All right, like,
Right.
people saw it. Young people see that Fire Festival documentary. They're like, "Oh, I want to go to that and suffer." You and I see that, we're like, "Fuck that shit, sue them."
Oh yeah.
So like that doesn't make any sense. Two, it has one thing going for it that very few films coming out this summer have, and it's that you just don't get this character very often. You're not getting the Indiana Jones movie twice a year or a year every 3 years. You know, it's just so just seeing it out of pure novelty. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, like that you guys got to understand that that stands for something. You know, like
Yeah.
a recognizable name for something you know you're not going to get any more of, and you haven't gotten in a while, stands for something.
Mhm.
So people, the general audience will, you know, will they go back and back? I don't know.
Well, like the 6:30, like the next showing at my theater, um, it has about 60 tickets sold, which so it's you know not sold out.
Is that a
That's like
is that a
that's
500 seat theater or is that a 300 seat theater?
I don't know. I have to
120 seat theater.
one wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 22, 4, 6, 8.
Because a lot of the theaters that have been
This
built,
is
like the
this
theater
is
that
a
I go to is
this is probably I'm just going to estimate around 250 to 300.
it's 60 seats on at the 3 o'clock.
Yeah, no, on this that's on the 6:30.
And that's for now. Jason,
Yeah.
most people buy their fucking tickets the day of. I do. I
Mhm.
rarely pre-order. I don't pre-order. Avatar's the only one I pre-order for. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe even the Keaton shit I won't. Like I do it the day I want or the day before. I don't really, you know, this way in advance is, you know, it's
Yeah,
actually a
yeah.
pretty decent sign when you think about it. You know.
Yeah. I think the movie is likely just based off of this if this is in any way common. Well, here's another thing I would say. I haven't looked at it, but like so where I'm going to see it um probably a little like more like middle class, right? But when you go down into like Long Beach and stuff like that, they hadn't sold a ticket last time I looked. So
That would make the
I'm
most sense to me. You know, like
mhm.
that won't happen until the day of or the Saturday. And even then, man, you know, like those theaters kind of depend on word of mouth, right?
Mhm.
Like it getting around kind of thing,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, because you know it's
Which is why I suspect you'll see those theaters watching Raiders of the Lost Ark on that re-release. You know what I mean? Like they'll do more with that probably,
right.
you know.
Yeah, like in Norwalk right now, when I go, wow, it's sad. So like when I went to the AMC in Norwalk, okay, it's not like a very white neighborhood, and one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 tickets sold. All of them single tickets. All of them
Yeah,
are
it's
people.
us, the nerdy
The
kids, right? The kids that grew up with it.
the 7 white guys who live in that neighborhood probably are like, oh, we don't have any
Probably,
friends.
yeah. Or the
Yeah,
nerdy kid that watched it with his dad or something, you know.
right,
But I
right.
suspect though, Jason, this far out, you'd still have that same count for a Star Trek movie.
Hmm.
You see what I mean? I don't think there
Yeah,
would be a whole lot of difference there. The fact that there's any pre-sold fucking ticket and that thing
fuck
for that that's a pretty
the
good. That's,
but the 7:45 one at that same theater has no tickets sold, no tickets sold at all. So it's completely like, yeah. So it's definitely weird. It's an interesting thing. I mean, but
well, this is
the
why
the, the
I
movie
don't
has to
like it
make
when
800 million or they're in the hole.
this is
Like,
why I don't like it when Lucasfilm or Disney, whatever, relies on like nostalgia marketing. Like it's that thing that's the legends coming. It should like look at Mission Impossible. It doesn't go for 30 years. You've been following Ethan Hunt on this mission that's impossible. It's like no. It gets into the mission of the movie. Doesn't
yeah.
fucking recognize any of the fucking ones that came before it. You know, because you got to get people
Mhm.
excited about that fucking film. Like,
Right.
and props to Paramount for properly fucking marketing. Like when Top Gun 2 came out, yeah, it had its moments, but it was if you knew. It wasn't like relying the saga continues of Maverick, the toppest of guns. You
Hmm.
know? So that whole fucking like
Goose couldn't cut it,
gone,
but Maverick could. Now he's
when Disney
back.
uses that, I call it the Gone with the Wind marketing. You know, they
Kelly
try to treat it like it's
McGillis.
gone.
She's not in the looker anymore. Don't worry, she's not in this one. We
Why you
got the
gotta
girl
say
from
that?
Labyrinth because that's what
Why you
happened.
gotta
That's
say
what happened. They're like, you know who's still hot?
that?
The girl from Labyrinth, and that's
Yeah,
what they
true.
did.
That's actually I
I
know
mean,
it's
it's what they
happened.
did. Yeah.
What if they had gotten instead of Jennifer Connelly, Annie Potts, and she just gives fucking Maverick some sass? You know what I mean?
She does like her like Brooklyn voice. Oh my God,
Yeah,
Mavi, what are
yeah.
we gonna
You in the
do?
gilfs? Yeah, I bet you in the gilfs.
Yeah.
Her call sign's gilf. Like yeah.
He works out enough for the both of us. That's what she would say. But
Now that
yeah.
I think about it, and I've never
Mhm.
thought about it this way before, Jason, because she is fucking really hot. Like
Who, Annie
they were
Potts?
doing that thing. Yeah, they were doing
Mhm.
that thing in Ghostbusters that they do to like Marissa Tomei when they put her or they put a hot girl in a nerd role like Sandra Bullock, right? And was that like Love Potion #9, right? They give her the glasses, they dress her down, right?
Okay. Okay. Here's my idea for us, Rob. We started Annie Potts podcast, and it's called Smoking Pot. And it's just about how
Or
Annie
just
Potts
the
is hot,
Potscast.
but smoking pot. Get it? Come on.
I don't smoke pot. No.
I know. That's the
I
that's the trick. All right.
Don't put anything
Smoking
in your
pot.
lungs, folks. The air's bad enough. I accept DJ Jazzy Jeff eating like a gummy, but the smoking thing, it's really bad. I don't care what it is. Don't smoke nothing.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, what do you think the conversation was like when DJ Jazzy Jeff like talked to Will Smith and he was like, so you fucking punched Chris Rock, huh? Like
Well, I remember that show.
you had to punch him, right?
I subscribe to the Mag Mob. He has a streaming
So
thing that he does.
did he
twice a week.
he talked about it?
He just no, but he came on. He's like, "We're just gonna be friends." It was a happy show.
Yeah.
He's a good friend, Jason. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just gonna throw it out there though. If he's beating up Chris Rock, he's hitting Chris Rock, he's probably beat up DJ Jazzy Jeff.
the problem is, Jazz will put a banana peel in your tailpipe. Like,
Oh, he's
see,
an Axel Foley.
He did that. They did that in the fucking show, and he still makes those jokes all the time. So I gotta imagine if Will Smith wants to get a banana peel in his fucking tailpipe, or a bowling ball through. Like he would probably. I bet you Jazz. Everything I garner from the dude is he's still like a little kid in some ways. So like shenanigans.
Yeah.
He likes shenanigans. Like remember when Better Call
Yeah.
Saul was tossing bowling balls into Hamlin's fucking
Yeah.
like over the wall? Like that's a Jazz move. Like
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I like
God,
that.
every time I'm telling you, whenever I'm feeling down, I just listen to DJ Jazzy Jeff's Mag Mob site. Just put some money in that, play it. Always gonna feel better.
Aria says same goes with Christopher Nolan. His movies are a must on the big screen. Are you going to see Oppenheimer in the theater? Do you plan to?
No.
I plan to, but the only thing going against it is like the fact that I got kids, so whenever I go to the movies, it's fucking expensive. And there's a lot of movies that I and they want to see. I mean, I got Spider-Verse, I got Flash, I got Indy, I got Turtles. Like, there's a lot in a pretty short time, you know.
None of that's my reason. My reason's pretty fucking simple. Is that I get triggered when it comes to nuclear shit. Like Terminator as far as I go. Like, you know what I mean? And even that, like I get real sentimental, man, when horses are on fire and shit. Like I grew up in the shadow. I mean, the threat of nuclear war was very real in my house growing up. Like, that's my childhood trauma. So like Oppenheimer, I love Dunkirk. I can watch that on a loop. But fucking, and I would love if they re-released Dunkirk in IMAX this summer, I would go see it. Like, so I fucking thought it was brilliant. But sitting around worrying about the nuclear bomb for 3 fucking hours, Jason, honestly, it's been this way since Putin invaded fucking Ukraine, right? I'm like, I mean, you've been there, you've listened to me talk to you about it. Like, I don't do well with nuclear war, man. Like it's not
yeah, I was laughing at to make you stay up tonight. That they're all like, the West is making us consider the nuclear option. It's like nobody made you do any of the stuff that you're doing. You fucking maniac.
Don't watch any of those shows. Yeah. And also, like I've mentioned it before, I did about a year and a half, somewhere between there, in nuclear, biological, chemical in the Army. Yeah, wasn't my MOS. That's your job of choice. They stuck me in there, you know, because I got injured. And my stepfather that I grew up with, he was NBC, like for 30 something years.
What does that mean?
NBC, that's the nuclear, biological, chemical. That's the acronym for it's not the TV station.
Not the TV station
what
where
that
they
means
show.
Is he would grow up showing me all the fucking documents of fucking nuclear fallout, all this other. And then, you know, he'd tell me, you have to go to Johnson Island one day, fucking learn that. I don't want to learn any of this shit. And then when I got in there, luckily they couldn't send me to Johnson Island because of my injury. So, but like when you start watching, like, man, they show you the effects of nuclear, just long-term radiation on people, dude. It's not good, bro. It's not as fun as that shit in RoboCop where that guy got hit with the sewage plant. That's more fun than the realities of this.
Yeah, you know? If you watch the Bikini Atoll like documentary, like Atomic Cafe and a couple of those ones, and you see like what happened to with the exposure to those people. It's they look like they were playing with the lightsaber in the start of the show when we were talking about that, from like limbs missing and stuff. It's not cool. When I was a kid, my dad told me that after a nuclear war, the atmosphere would deplete, and then like all of the oxygen would be sucked out of the planet. I don't know if that's in any way realistic or true, but that you would hear it. And so when I was a kid, whenever I would hear an airplane fly over, I would go, "Oh shit! Is that all the air leaving the atmosphere?"
But see, that's the trauma that we still grew up in the shadow of that, you know. I don't think our generation like recognizes, like, they think of nuclear war as like Terminator or war games. They don't really remember. Yeah, we were still doing duck and cover drills in the 80s. I mean, I don't know if you were. We were doing that shit up until. I want to say up until like the late 87, 88, we weren't doing it anymore. But in the 83 through 86, 100%.
Yeah. James Cameron, he showed us what would happen, and we said, "This is dumb." I mean, that's how it kind of went.
Well,
we knew
he does a great audio commentary with Bill Wisher. I think it's on the Blu-ray now. It used to only be on the Extreme DVD release of Terminator, but it's on the Blu-ray now. And I've extracted it, so I leave it on when I'm working. When I'm feeling really down, I put that on. And he describes how like his childhood was like, oh, it's all about exploring and rivers, and then he found these Time Life magazines that explained nuclear war to him, and he said he felt like his parents, he was living a lie, like his parents had hid this truth from him that that the world is uncertain, and it traumatized him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm like, I believe it. I don't think that's kayfabe, because I remember like just seeing Time Life mag. My uncle collected all this old shit, and he still had all my grandfather's stuff. So like he had all the Time Life magazines from the 50s and 60s, and just seeing like the Kennedy assassination stuff as it was new, and like all the Cold War fear mongering and the Bay of Pigs stuff that was in there and the nuclear war, like all that shit, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just think like that traumatized a generation of folks that, I don't know if we've ever dealt with it in this country.
Well, that's
responsibly.
At the time, I remember like when the Soviet Union fell, and then immediately there was the anxiety. The first it was like, oh, we won't get blown up now. We aren't going to have a nuclear war. And then it immediately turned to, oh shit, what's going to happen to the nuclear weapons that they have? Who are they going to get them?
Suitcase nukes.
That whole, but then, and then when you get down to it, like that's one of that anxiety got placed over onto the 9/11.
It's the basic premise of True Lies.
Yeah.
And remember Randy, I mean, that's a remake, but Randy Frakes wrote that remake, and Randy Frakes is one of Cameron's best friends. It was Bill Wisher and Randy Frakes, and Randy Frakes wrote all the novelizations for like Aliens and shit like that. And so like they were dealing with that True Lies, man. Like, like I'm hit or miss on it, but I think given what they were doing with James Bond, that was a more relevant James Bondish experience than what they were doing with that shit, because that was dealing with the actual what do you do with after the fucking fall of the Soviet Union? All these fucking nuclear weapons are up for grabs and shit, and they were to an extent. Luckily fucking nothing happened, but
well, like
miracle.
And to bring this back to Star Wars for the hardcores, I don't think without that climate you get the Death Star. I don't think that if that becomes like it was kind of the metaphor for it in a way. And then later on you end up with Reagan calling his very much of a joke missile defense program Star Wars and stuff. And
like Lucas sued and lost over too.
Yeah, it was like, the government won the ability to name something similar to it as long as it doesn't impede the copyrighted work or some shit like that. We did an episode about it, but I don't remember all the details now. But Al says with Elemental Indy 5 now likely to flop thanks to mixed reviews, and Haunted Mansion and the Marvels being wild cards, should Disney heavily market Wish to save their 100th year at the box office?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can we just stop for a second? I'll let you answer that question. But on a surface level, folks, reviews don't equal box office dollars. They just don't. And let me give you an example. Mario Brothers has fucking no good reviews. It's 50-something percent. Right?
Yeah. Like it's not a good movie in a traditional sense.
But you can go, but Rob, Mario's a cultural phenomenon. They didn't get it. All right. But Transformers, the Michael Bay ones, had dismal reviews. It started in the 50s and goes down to like 17%, and those things were still making billions of dollars.
Right.
So like the reviews don't mean shit to the box office. It really just matters whether the films hit some sort of zeitgeist. Like, you got to go see this. Yeah, it's shit, but it's got this thing in it, right? And that's the thing where I'm like, if they, and based off what we read, I'm like, do they really have that? Maybe the beginning, but they really should have planned a big, man. No, Jason, did you? And I'm gonna let you finish this question, but he didn't pay, so he can wait. That's how it works around here. Did you see the Sony Spider-Man 2 gameplay from like a couple days ago?
Right? I heard about it.
The set piece, the sequences that those, like Insomniac made that, right? The sequences that they're able to put into fucking games, like whether it's Uncharted, the Spider-Man one's amazing. Like the Spider-Man, Marvel Studios should be hiring the people who fucking design that shit at Insomniac to come up with some sequences for their fucking movies. Yeah. Like because any one of those things would have made a great sequence, and there's like 5 of them like back to back to back in the game, and it's like Indy could use that, not jumping out of a plane. We just saw the Uncharted kid do that.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Tom Cruise do it for real 3 years ago, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so they need more than that. That's the thing that will keep people from seeing this movie in mass quantities. Isn't the reviews? It's the lack of a fucking holy shit moment, right? Big summer movie.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like reviews. We look at reviews for two reasons, I think. One is because we love something and we're hoping that it's going to end up like it that they did a good job. And it's the first kind of like hint. And then the other is because we are on the fence about buying something and we want somebody to tell us to buy it or not to. For instance, Legend of Zelda comes out, a new Legend of Zelda game comes out. And if IGN gives it a 7 and you've played every Legend of Zelda game, you're probably still going to buy it. You're like, fuck, I was hoping it was going to be a classic. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're wrong. But then if it's like fucking just some rando game and your friend said, hey man, you ever heard of whatever this game is called? And then you look it up and it has a fucking 5 on IGN, you're like, no, I'm not buying that. I know that shit. But some things you still have to experience for yourself to know it's bad, to be told it's bad.
Yeah, fundamentally, Jedi Fallen Order didn't offer any new gameplay experience, but people want more of it. So this whole like argument when I hear like, but that like critical breakdown says the Spider-Man true trailer looks the same as the last Spider-Man game. But gamers generally want the same thing they got last time.
Yeah.
And then you play it and you find out there's a bunch of new shit. Then you're like, oh my God. But when they only show you the new things, the thing that wasn't in the last game, then gamers complain, they changed the game. Why didn't they give me just more of the thing I want? Gamers are different, critical breakdown, than movie people audiences, in my opinion, want to know, why do I have to get out my fucking house and sit in a fucking room with a bunch of people I don't fucking like to go watch this? And it has to be, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's got not just a spectacle, or it's got a bunch of people that I want to see, or it's got an experience you want to have, you know? And they haven't done a great job, other than saying it's Indiana Jones, right? He's the experience. I don't know what that means anymore for, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's enough. Like, there should be a big fucking hook thing, you know?
Yeah, well, that's so. But when it comes to indie, I have no idea if it's going to flop or if it's not or whatever. And everything that people have said so far has been predicated upon the cons reviews. And I am curious to see if when more standard journalists get to go out and see it in Burbank and people get to see it around for small press and stuff like that, for their reviews closer to release, if we see a change at all. We may not. We might not. I mean, it may stay right there. That score may be 100% accurate to what that film is. So it's a hard one. That's why more or less I'm like following it the way I am, because I'm curious to see how it plays out. Now, as an indie fan, if the movie is a good Indiana Jones movie and it's like it doesn't perform at the end of the day, I mean, I don't really care, because this is Harrison Ford's last one. So if I get another Harrison Ford Indiana Jones movie and it's good, cool. If I get one and it's bad, then I probably just won't watch it. But like either way, I'm getting more than I had before. And so I'm seeing it, the fact that it's even coming out, as a win for me. You know what I mean? Like for me,
that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Michael Keaton returning as Batman. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I know everyone said it's a great movie. That's the reviews. For me, I'm a visual guy. I think, and I've said this before, the production design on the first Batman 89 is as good to me as the original Star Wars. The Batwing and the Batmobile are as cool to me as the X-Wing and the Millennium Falcon. Mm-hmm. Like, they are right there, you know? Like, it's like you just don't get much better than that.
Those were the Batmobile and that Batwing were the only things that got me hooked as a child, the same way the X-Wing fighter did. That's it. Like
and
at
as
that level.
Practical as that rubber suit is, it's iconic. The way it's shaped, right? Yeah. The 89 suit, the way the leather sits, the way the regalness of adding those little like feet wing things on the, There's a regalness to the suit, and it cuts a strong silhouette, guys. I mean, just in every shot where that thing's in, except for that cartoon shot. I hate the cartoon shot.
I love the cartoon shot.
I don't like the cartoon shot. So
yeah.
Other than that, man, like it looks amazing, and the production design on this one looks clunky. Like his suit looks more like a Darth Vader outfit to me. It just I don't know. Like,
over the weekend, I hung out and talked to 3 people who've seen the movie, who've seen The Flash, and got their honest take on it. Their honest take is it's good. It's fucking in no way the best superhero movie ever made by miles, they said. They said the CGI in it is fucking abysmal. Like some of it looks like it belongs on TV. And it's not that great. Keaton's in about half the movie. And it's totally worth seeing. But that's like to make it realistic.
Right, I'll take any Michael Keaton Batman. You know what I mean? Like even if I think the production design is bad,
And one of them is like our age, from like our generation, with the same thing, and they're like he's great in it. You're gonna love that part of it. But they're like, he's in about half the movie. It's not Batman.
That's what I feel.
It's not Batman 3, and I'm like, yeah, I know. But at
Batman
the same time,
Batman Forever.
Stop. Michael Keaton's Batman. That's it. What do you call it? Also, but that's the other thing is Flash isn't having great pre-sales either. Flash is
I don't think anyone's I know, but
I don't
put we are pre-sales to me were like a pre-pandemic thing.
Yeah.
Not that we're in post-pandemic, but you know what I mean? Definitely pre-pandemic. Like this sort of, can we shut down a site because there was just the demand there? I don't short of a fucking miracle, we're not really there, maybe Spider-Man, if a new Spider-Man comes out, but people forget how big Spider-Man really is. Like Spider-Man's
the biggest,
huge, man.
It's the biggest superhero in the world, technically, isn't he?
I felt that way before the first movie came out. Like that's
I think officially, in terms of like when all is said and done, Spider-Man is the biggest.
So
yeah,
and there were Mario's. I mean, who knows? Those things are what I'm trying to basically say is, will they make their money back and be profitable? Hey man, that is on fucking Disney.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we can't. I don't like this whole. We're rallying around we consider a movie a success or failure based on what it made. Great fucking things get made and make no money. I'm gonna give you a great example. It's the Iron Giant made nothing in the movie theaters.
Yeah,
nothing. I don't think anyone's going around saying that film's a failure.
What a failure!
Arguably Vin Diesel's best role. Vin Diesel's best role, bro.
I don't know. I watched Fast and the Furious 8 last night, and it was the comedy of the year. He's like Steven Seagal's illegitimate child. He's so fucking stupid.
We got to get Ice Pirate guy to fucking cover some Vin Diesel material, right?
Yeah,
too good.
Yeah. Not Ice Pirate.
That's what I call him, but
Ice.
I mean.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Fucking
call him Ice Pirate. I don't know why. He does these Steven Seagal videos that are fucking brilliant, folks.
Yeah,
they're just the best.
No, my son's obsessed with them, with that channel, and I've seen all of the videos at least twice now. Like he just watches it over and over again. He thinks it's so funny, and I'm like, I
like it when he just. I don't normally bag on films' use of physics, but the Steven Seagal ones are so bad. This guy's so good at it that I'm like, let him just. And this guy needlessly falls through a window in 8 different directions, and you think he's like goofing, but no, that's the movie. Like it really does that.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's no, it's. But the Fast and the Furious guy, Vin Diesel, he's the new version of that. And I was telling Bespin, I'm like, I think he's had a lot of success, obviously. And if that dries up, he's going to become Seagal very quickly. Like it's going to go to Seagal levels, like of insanity.
How long before
really
Vin
fast.
Diesel and UV Bowl team up? See, here's how they can. Here's how they. And Snyder brought this up. I'll credit Jeff Snyder with this idea because he's absolutely right. Here's how you save the last one or two Fast and the Furious movies if they're going to make them. You just get Michael Bay to make them. Michael Bay doing a Fast and the Furious movie, I'd go fucking see it. Like you know, it's going to be batshit crazy. Michael Bay, dude. It's going to be batshit crazy.
I haven't seen the new one, but I think the new Fast and the Furious movies are like I'm on 8. I gotta watch 9 and then 10. Okay, but I watch 7 and 8. No, dude. There's like one where they're in like Abu Dhabi and like there's like this car collector has like a car like on like the 100th floor of this big high rise, right? They get in the car and they drive it out the building into another one. I love it
because they saw Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol and wanted to do that with a car. When Tom Cruise did it for real, their shit's CGI. Michael Bay would use practical cars though. Yeah. Like, say what you want about Michael Bay, he doesn't shove in CGI cars. He'd have real physical cars doing that shit.
Well, you know what? I'm going to Jeff Snyder the fuck out of what you just said right now. I'm going to take it to the next level and agree with them. But I'm going to say you have Transformers meet up with that. You do a crossover of the Transformers with Fast and the Furious. And I think now you got $1 billion movie right there.
The Fast and the Formers.
Yeah. Right. Fast-formers.
Let's
do it. I mean, I think it'd make a ton of money, you know.
Do you think whose voice would be deeper, Optimus Prime or Vin Diesel's?
Well, what would actually happen is Vin Diesel would try to tell Michael Bay how to direct stuff, and then Michael Bay would slap him with a glove.
That's what I want. When he said Michael Bay should do it, I'm like the clashing of Bay versus Diesel. That's what I want, Jason.
Just make the documentary of that and release that. Don't even make them think they're making that movie, but they're not really. There's just nothing. They're just doing nothing, and then just watch them fight it out. It would be worth it.
If I could fix climate change or get that, I'd fix climate change, but I'd have to think about it for a second. Like I'd have to really think about it, Jason. All right?
Yeah, I'd pick that. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna but I told you I'm a cusper. I'm a Gen Xer, man. Oregon Trail kid here. Oregon Trail. Not one of you. I don't believe.
I call us the Jedis. We were born between 77 and 83.
Yeah,
those are real Jedis.
Yeah, they
just Azatur's like.
I said they call them the cuspers. They call them the Oregon Trail generation, and it is completely this little pocket that is different. It's completely different.
I didn't play Oregon Trail though. I played Carmen Sandiego.
That counts. It's the same thing. You're in the same thing. You just picked a different game, or your school just decided to go a different route. They went the Carmen Sandiego route, but
they had it. I hated it. I didn't like the look of it.
That doesn't make you not part of the generation because you didn't if you were a teenager in 69 and you didn't buy Bob Dylan, doesn't make you not a part of the hippie generation. It just means you just didn't buy into it.
Carmen Sandiego was the better game.
I don't know about that.
It is.
Fucking
but you actually learned about shit. Only thing you learned about Oregon Trail was dysentery. Carmen Sandiego, you learned about food, learned about culture. You learned about point-and-click adventures.
I learned about exhaustion. No? Okay. Anyways, I got my kids home today because it's the holiday, so I'm gonna go so that way I could go on a long walk with Penny because that's what she wants to do today. She wants to go on a long walk. So I'm gonna go and do that. And you are you guys cooking anything or doing anything? Or are you just hanging out today?
I am drawing my secret project.
Secret project, right?
I'm on a 2-page spread from hell. I'll talk about it one day.
Yeah, 69 dudes. Hey, Dell. All right, well, and how you doing, Dell? You doing pretty good, man? You home? Welcome home. All right, everybody.
I think he said he was home, so we're glad you're home, Dell.
Yeah. Welcome home, Dell.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow's a normal day, right? Yeah, tomorrow's a normal day. So we'll see everybody tomorrow. Might be Star Wars news, might not. Either way, we'll talk about Annie Potts, something like that.
Oh yes.
And
I got a few of these screen caps I'll be using. So it's a Potts week. I'm gonna let you know all week you're gonna be getting Annie Potts.
And I say it's called Smoking Pots. All right. Bye everybody. I'll see you in a while, Rob.
I can't be in it smoking. I can't do it.
No, because she's smoking hot, dude.
I hear you. I just can't hate the word.
She's smoking. Come on. It's great. It's freaking genius.
No. It's the end of the show. Come
on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.